fundamentally, the duck curve is just the load that's demanded on the grid, or the net load sometimes, with when you superimpose the renewable energy coming on the grid. So say, for example, say the load just came up to 100 in the morning and stayed at 100, and then at night it went back down to 50. So it was 50 all night and came up to 100. And then you put solar on that. So now it's at 50 and it comes up to 100 in the morning, and then all of a sudden solar comes in and starts supplying all this energy. So the power plants have to put out less. So it dips down in the middle of the day. That's the belly of the duck. And then at night, it's back up at 100, but there's no solar. And then in the evening, it drops back down to 50. And then the rest of the duck curve is, it actually doesn't step function from 50 to 100 and then stay at 100. When you get up in the morning, get ready to come to work, if you're eating breakfast at home, making your breakfast, you turn the oven on, you turn the electric grill on, you turn lights on, you turn the air conditioner, the heater or something. There's a spike from 6 in the morning to 7:30 in the morning of power demand. So it doesn't go from 50 to 100, it goes from 50 to 150 and then back down to 100. And then now the belly comes in because of the solar coming in. So when you draw that shape, it looks like a duck wing, the belly of a duck, and another duck wing, duck curve. So that's what the duck curve is. So, for example, I'm talking to a couple utilities in California. And California is a classic example because they're pushing the state of the art of the quantity of renewable energy on the grid. And the more renewable energy you have, the more severe that belly gets, for solar especially. Wind creates a whole nother challenge, but we're just talking kind of the solar. So basically, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, modern combined cycle, super efficient power plants achieving 55% thermal efficiency, that was the big deal. And everyone was focused on building the most modern combined cycle plant. And that went on for 20 years. And now, basically, if you talk to the CEO of utilities, you could, almost everyone say, we don't really care about efficiency anymore. Because what they're seeing is they have so much renewable that's coming at them, they don't know what to do with it all. So when I get this energy, this free carbon energy, can I actually use it? Is the challenge. So what's happened in the last 20 years is these power plants went from running, if you take 365 days a year times 24 hours a day, it's 8,760 hours. So a power plant could theoretically run 8,760 hours a year, and throw some maintenance in there. And typically people would round it out and say, hey, my plant runs 8,000 hours a year, which is called base load operation. They turn that thing on, they don't shut it off for months, sometimes years. Well, when this duck curve comes and all of a sudden they have this glut of energy, and they have other load constraints, grid constraints, that, the wires are only so big, I can only transmit energy so much in different directions. They find themselves with, hey, I can't use the power from my power plant from 11 in the afternoon until 3 in the afternoon, or 11 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. They turn their power plant off. So these power plants, they were designed to run for months or years at a time and not shut off. They don't like being turned off. So they're cycling them. So it's costing them a lot of money in maintenance, because now they're cycling them, and cycling them it's a very bad thing for a power plant as far as maintenance is concerned. It's large, efficient combined cycle. And so 20 years ago, they're running 8,000 hours a year. Today, they might be running 3,000 or 4,000 hours a year. because of their shutting them off. And then they have to make this decision: do I leave it run all night? And maybe the power prices usually fluctuate with demand. And if there's no demand at night or low demand, do they keep it running at night? Do they shut it off? So they're shutting these machines off or running them at inefficient. These modern power plants that were designed to run at a super efficient level are struggling to run at a minimum power, which is very inefficient. So they're running inefficient, they're cycling, which costs them a lot of money. And they have this financial challenge that they're going out of business. They're running 8,000 hours 20 years ago, they're running 4,000 hours now. In 5 or 10 years, they're predicting to run 1,000 hours a year. They can't make enough money to keep the power plant. So nobody wants to be without power. So how do you solve that equation? And that's what we're trying to help with, which is modernizing these plants and designing them to cycle. So basically, I explained what the duck curve was. These power plants are trying to react to that. They can't. It'd be like, asking a Tesla to drive across the country. That's not what it's designed for. It's designed for, you charge it up, you drive it for a day. You charge it up, you drive it for the day. It's not drive across the country for 3 days. So they're asking these power plants that were designed to run continuously to start and stop multiple times a day. And the power plant owners know that they call them dinosaurs. This modern thing that they built, it costs several $100 million. They now refer to it as a dinosaur. It's a dying breed that they're trying to figure out how to make it relevant. I heard they use the word relevant in a low carbon future.